This is something that I'm very interested in, and that is that Saban has sold the rights to Power Rangers to Hasbro, the toy company. This is interesting on several fronts.
Indeed.
I'm sure most of you have heard at this point that Toys R Us is closing. This is a very tumultuous time to be in the toy business for a couple of reasons. The market is shifting in a lot of ways. Toys R Us, the biggest toy the biggest toy store in the world, is closing, like we said. So a lot of the special products that Hasbro would put out and fill the shelves with, they just don't have the space to put them in someplace like a Walmart or whatever.
Yeah.
So Hasbro's actually been dealing with trying to make profit these past couple of years. They haven't been doing very well. In fact, last year, I believe they tried to do a merger with Mattel, their biggest competitor. That fell through. They tried to buy Lionsgate a year or so ago to try and get into the film business more so. They've obviously done some licensing deals where they've made, like, the Transformers movies and stuff.
Did they?
But they want to get into making movies themselves, which makes this deal very interesting, and that is, like I said, Hasbro has bought the rights to Power Rangers from Saban, which is interesting because Saban only received the rights back from, I believe, Disney like 5 years ago or so.
Nickelodeon.
No.
Disney, then Nickelodeon?
It was Saban's originally, then Disney bought it from Saban in the early 2000s, then Saban bought it back, and it was airing on Nickelodeon.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was.
For content creators like us, who really like this, Saban has been very poor with DMCA. Japanese companies in general, like Nintendo specifically, really, really terrible with letting people do reviews of their things.
Yeah.
If Hasbro has it now, we might actually be able to, on Unpop, do some Power Ranger stuff.
That'd be fun.
Which is a thing that we have wanted to do for ages.
Yeah.
So, could be fun.
But on top of all of this, considering Hasbro's been wanting to get into the film industry, I find it very interesting. There are rumors swirling that Hasbro wants to do their own sort of MCU style
I don't like that.
shared universe for films, but instead of being comic book based, it would be based in their toy licenses. So, for instance, the Transformers, G.I. Joe, now the Power Rangers, and some of their other properties, like ROM Space Knight, for instance, would all take place in the same universe. This would, at least from the rumors I've heard, not take place in the current Transformers universe. This would happen after some sort of reboot.
So poor Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, Marky Mark, where's he gonna get that sweet, sweet Transformers money now? You think
he's already gotten 7 fucking movies or some shit?
I wish I could just fill the role of, like, hey, Shia LaBeouf got weird for a while. You want to be not Shia LaBeouf in our movie?
Then they put that other guy in there. The one that is married, Josh Duhamel, the one that's married to Fergie.
I have no idea. So, anyway.
He's the one that looks like Timothy Oliphant.
Okay. I find it interesting, too. This is actually coming off of, again,
Saban... Hungry Hippos, the movie.
Yeah. Saban sold the rights, in part, apparently, due to low performance and, low performance for the Power Rangers movie. Whoa. And poor toy sales. We reviewed the movie Power Rangers when it came out. We actually talked about how we thought it was better than we thought it was going to be.
Way better than I thought it would be. Not great, though. Like,
no.
We give it like a 7?
6 or 7.
6 or 7's about right.
It handles the interpersonal teen relationship stuff pretty well, and I think that's interesting and a different route for a superhero movie. And I did enjoy when they transformed at the end, but I get it. It was sort of lopsided and didn't really follow the Power Rangers formula, in that a lot of the show was the fighting, and this had less fighting and more talking and stuff, but I enjoyed the film for what it was. The merchandising, I completely understand, though, because...
Did you see Goldar? We literally walked through our local dead Toys R Us the other day, and, like, just the toy designs in general are just fucking abysmal.
The production design on Power Rangers as a whole for that entire movie was just awful. Took way too much cues from Transformers, and that sort of too busy, futuristic Zord look.
Or just like Alpha. The design, like, it's awkward long arms, so the way it articulates, like, it just doesn't... It's not conducive to play.
I recognize they're also going for, like, an alien look, but it didn't... It just...
You could have easily just... Like, you remember the old Lost in Space production? I didn't think the set production was poor. I thought the robot looked fine.
Sure.
I don't know about the new one. I haven't watched the new one. It's very different, though.
Good.
It's very different from the old design.
I don't like the design of the robot. I like the show, though. Because, again, it has that... I don't like this... Robots since Transformers have been trending towards this super ugly, gray, gunmetal, too busy, too much texture, too alien. I get it. I understand that, like, in the real world, if you were to come across an alien robot, it would look very alien. But if the character isn't supposed to come across... I get that robot is supposed to be alien and lost in space. I'm more talking about Power Rangers now. Yeah. Alpha 5 as a character...
It's not supposed to be that alien.
It's not supposed to be alien. He's one of the Power Rangers, like, best friends. He's a confidant. He's Zordon's, like, #1 guy who helps do stuff in the command center. He's supposed to be relatable and comedy character.
And it's Bill fucking Hader.
Bill Hader's not a bad choice for Alpha 5.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, it doesn't look like Bill Hader's voice should come out of it.
No, not at all.
And Zordon's just a face, like always. So why are we going so crazy with everything else if Zordon's face literally just looks like Heisenberg?
Yeah.
So
that's confusing.
Right. So I don't know. It just didn't. The designs didn't make any sense. Goldar in Power Rangers, a literal pile of gold that just melted and like. I really hated that.
Yeah. Very bad for a toy design. We were looking.
It's just yellow. It's just a yellow diecast.
We were looking at the toy for the Goldar, and yeah, it looks ugly. It's the ugliest. Like it's like you're dehydrated and peed into the mold, and that's the color that it is. It's really weird. So I don't. Along with that, like maybe this is just me, but growing up in the '90s, even today, I think the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Morpher. It's a cool design.
Yeah.
It's just a gold coin in the middle, which looks weird and has a dinosaur on it, and then the housing is just like looks like a big metallic belt buckle. It had its own sort of thing going for it and has its own aesthetic. The ones that they had in the movie look terrible. They have no personality. They're just like these generic, if you've seen the toys, gray ovals.
Yes.
Garbage.
Yeah, I mean the old toys weren't like great, by the way. They were just fun.
Yeah.
And so, I for your birthday, I got you the Green Ranger one with the head. Like, his shoulders and his torso are just ridiculous.
Sure.
But it's a cool toy. You remember playing with that? It had the clip-on armor and stuff.
Yeah.
But and also, like, the original Zords weren't hyper busy. It all made sense. And the reason I like the Zords so much is because classic Transformers toys worked in a very similar way where everything was very interconnected, and I love the idea of robots that like are
interlocking,
kind of interlocking, but yeah, I mean just things fit like a robot. And when you're playing with a toy like that, like especially the old Transformers and into the Zords, especially like even Wave 2 when they had like the Dragon Zord and stuff.
Yeah.
All of those were very cleverly designed toys that, like, worked. Like, they could be their individual things that you see on the show and the thing.
Whereas in the movie, it just was like...
It's so complex that you literally can't make the toy do that.
Yeah, it's weird.
And that's the problem.
And it just comes together and they threw some splashes of color onto the gray to make it look like it was made of the other stuff, but there's nothing aesthetically that actually you can say, that's, you know, the arm of the Yellow Ranger's Sabretooth, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you can't do that.
And it needed contrast, I believe, Sarah mentions it in the comments here. It needed contrast on Goldar specifically.
Yeah.
Like, have black around the parts where you want it to be like, oh, here's the chest, here's the head. Like, it needs some sort of something to bounce off of, and you can, it literally could have been Rita's green energy. Like a green and gold. That's fine.
Sure.
That's
even
silly.
Honestly, that's even the aesthetic that the Green Ranger has. So moving forward, it would have made sense thematically.
Right. Green Ranger was teased at the end of that movie. You haven't seen it. It's an okay movie. I think if you're a fan like we were growing up of Power Rangers, you should watch the movie and just kind of be like, yeah, okay, I get it. And I wonder if they're going to keep the same cast if they're going to try to do...
I don't think so.
You think this is just scrapped?
I think they're going to scrap it.
Because I liked the cast. For the most part, I thought the cast was fine. I liked Billy being a black... I thought they handled having an autistic character actually pretty well.
Yeah.
And it was refreshing. Maybe that's one of the reasons I like the movie so much is, you know, usually Power Rangers are caricatures of people.
Sure.
These felt like people that were Power Rangers.
Oh, yeah. And
they felt like people first, and that was important to me.
They had Billy, who was dealing with the loss of his dad and his autism, and the people not generally wanting to be around him. The Red Ranger was dealing with his guilt over, like, losing his scholarship and hurting himself and stuff.
And disappointing his dad, and then the one girl was dealing with sexuality, which was actually really interesting.
Yeah, which is still something neither Marvel or DC have even tackled in their movies yet.
Yeah, no, Zach was the only one that was really kind of pointless. He didn't really have much going on there. I think he just has mommy issues.
Yeah, this mom was dying.
I don't care.
Better than teaching hip-hop keto. I don't...
No, it's not. No, it isn't. That's not better than teaching hip-hop keto. Very few things are better than teaching hip-hop keto.
Okay.
Have you seen Zach?
Yeah.
The original black one. The black one. Teaching hip-hop keto there? The dance routines? Come on now.
90s, you tried.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Your intentions were well.
Do you know what it literally was? They saw one episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and they're like, "Oh fuck, yes."
I think Power Rangers came out before Fresh Prince.
No, it didn't. No way. Look that up. You look that up.
I think Mighty Morphin Power Rangers came out in '94.
No, but DJ Jazzy Jeff and Will Smith were things before that. They went through the 80s.
I'm looking.
There's no way.
1994.
94? I feel like we're looking at 91, 92 for Fresh Prince.
I'm gonna look.
What is it?
I'm looking.
What is it?
I'm looking. Why is it hard?
What if it's the same exact day? Do we both lose?
Yeah.
Okay.
1990. You're right.
Woo! Because it had such an 80s aesthetic to it.
You're right. I wasn't thinking about it. I think when I think of Fresh
also,
Prince,
I was alive.
When I think of Fresh Prince, I think of later Fresh Prince.
I was alive.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I was almost 3. I can remember this shit. Is there anything else we want to talk about? I just think the implication of creators being able to interact with the product is going to help them.
Yeah.
Saban, they do the same thing with Dragon Ball Z, where DBZ Abridged had to fight for years to even be a thing.
Yeah.
So
I like the idea of a Transformers, Power Rangers, Rom Space Knight, Voltron, My Little Pony combined universe. I think in concept that is so ludicrous it can't help but work.
I just don't think they could pull it off.
I don't know.
Who bought it?
Hasbro. We'll see. I'm gonna give them a chance. I don't know why. They made all the G.I. Joe movies and the Transformers movies.
If they rent it out to Disney, I'll give you a chance.
I have no reason to have any confidence in them, but I like Power Rangers
Disney
enough.
Or just Ryan Reynolds gets the properties, and they're like, okay, Ryan Reynolds, sprinkle magic on this.
I'm gonna ride Power Rangers to the ground until it's just me and Linkara, the only ones who watch it anymore.
Jesus Christ.
It's gonna be fantastic.
What about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Does Hasbro own the rights to that?
I don't know.
Who owns the rights
to that? I think it's Hasbro.
If it is, that's actually awesome.
TMNT and Power Rangers is a thing that, they've done stuff. Not Saban. Is it? Because it was a manga, right?
No.
A manga!
No, it was not. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was an American-made comic book.
I've definitely seen, well, maybe it wasn't.
There might be manga versions now, but no, it was originally a very violent black and white comic book in which Splinter was dead and the Turtles were looking to avenge his death.
His death?
His death.
How did he die?
I'm trying to see who owns that. TMNT originally was created
by Universal?
As an American comic book published by Mirage Studios.
Oh, Mirage. They do some good comics, actually.
Oh, I don't.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know who owns this now. I don't know who owns the movie rights, but if we could get a movie and it's like Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, Voltron, ooh.
Voltron?
Yeah.
What are the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles going to do once Voltron shows up? Just fucking take a back seat?
They can color commentate and eat pizza.
I'm in now. Now I'm in.
That's what I'm saying.
If we just, from their perspective, it's just, Voltron shows up, and then they fight the Power Rangers in the Zord together, and we're just sitting here so, Raph, who you got?
And then, the 90s the 90s basketball team, the Bulls, with Michael Jordan show up, and it's just, 90s smorgasbord. The 1990... What's a year Michael Jordan was playing the basketball?
1990's fine.
The 1990 lineup for the Bulls.
Great. 96.
96 lineup for the Bulls. There you go. That makes my joke work.